This is one of the example of how I'm unlearning and undoing the old habit of mine that previously is hidden under my subconscious. So I have certain person in my life that I subconsciously used to really care about their emotion, their behavior, and I adjust subconsciously to adjust myself according to what they feel and what they do. And due to that, part of my energy was spent to tracking onto that person behavior so I can adjust myself, because I was programmed in my earlier life that this person behavior will affect my peace. And then now, after I grow up, I realize that that is not true. And then I am learning to accept that that person behavior doesn't need to affect my peace at all, or how I behave, or how I speak. I have been unlearning this for a few months already, and then there is interesting experience that one morning I just sat in my usual space. One certain act from that person, even though we were not directly interacting with each other, but that person still caught my attention. Reflectively, without me able to stop it first. So then I got this vision that when that happened, there is part of me, like a child, reflectively like standing up from her sitting position to reach out to that situation, like want to know what happened so she can adjust again to the situation to make sure that peace is kept. And when I saw this vision, I started undoing this reflect repeatedly by pulling out that child back to my lap instead of reaching out to that situation. That morning I did it several times, like every time that child want to stand up, I pull it back. At first she stood up and walked a bit before I pull it back to my lap. And then the second time she stood up and walked not as far as the first one before I pull it back. This happened repeatedly in that one morning until she could stood still in my lap. So even though I cannot completely say that I no longer affected by that person behavior, I can say that that person behavior has less effect to me than before. And then now I am learning and also teaching that child part of mine to, instead of sit still in my lap with tension, I want her to stand up again and go play around happily, to be free, like how a child should be. So this kind of undoing old habit that a child come as a representation of part of me is sometimes showing up as a way for our psyche or subconscious mind to give us message about what is happening within our subconscious.